what I really want to emphasize is that the foundation of our societies and our freedoms. I mean, of course, we need a functioning economy, but over the past 30 to 40 years, we have started focusing so much on money and the economy that we kind of forgot the rest. Mm-hmm. And I think that if we go to the average Western person and ask them, what is politics about? What should it be about? I bet that most people would say, but that's about the economy, or it's about taxes. And it shouldn't, I mean, it should be about that as well. But we've forgotten that politics is really about what are the moral values behind our society and how do we make sure that everybody thrives in society. And the economy should really just be a tool in that political process where we try to figure out what would be the best way for most people to live, where we still take into account the well-being of the minorities who do not want to live like that or who would not thrive in the same way as the majority. And how do we have meaningful conversations about where would we like to take this society? And if we have politicians who keep insisting that this is mainly about money and taxes and saving money, or if we pick a third topic, it's usually defense. Right now it's the corona, actually.
Sure.
But apart from that, how often do we have a really big public debate about school systems or our cultural institutions, the institutions that allow us to, understand the world that we're living in, the symbols that allow us to communicate and to express ourselves and be human in these huge societies? I mean, culture and education really ought to be at the core of our societies. So that is one thing that I would say we really need to change our focus. And what's interesting about the corona pandemic is that suddenly all governments realized that, there's something that is more important than money. I mean, suddenly governments realized that we don't have to just think about the economy all the time. There's actually something that is more important, which is that people survive and live in good health. And if we can take that with us as we exit on the other side of the pandemic,
right,
and have different conversations about, so what is really important? What is important in our societies? And what is the future that we would really like? And then we could turn the economy into a tool for that. And I think that one of the reasons why we also need good science education and the humanities is because we need to feed our imagination, and we need people who study sustainable food production and circular economy, different kinds of understanding what is a healthy economy, biodiversity, of course, nature and the climate, all these things. The more that we understand these, we can have meaningful conversations about, so what would the good society look like? What would the good life look like? What would be a meaningful family life 10 years from now or 100 years from now?
Right.
We never have those conversations in the, you may have them with colleagues or in corners of the public debate, but we don't have it as the big issues, and that is really where they ought to be. So Bildung is part of that, because that's where you get the understanding of in many kinds of directions. You need to understand different kinds of fields of knowledge in order to have meaningful conversations about where society should develop.
Wonderful. All right. That sounds uplifting, inspiring. I couldn't agree more at the level of reflection about what our foundational values are, especially as this world changes so much based on the technology. It's in so much flux. Now is the time to reflect on these.